Hey guys, welcome to my channel. As you can see, different background. It's so hot in the conservatory, it's unbearable. I've got the fan on, the door's open, but I can't be out there. It's so hot in the UK at the moment. So I'm in the kitchen, so I hope the lighting's okay. I can't have my ring light on out here or anything like that because it's really kind of shadowy and doesn't look good. So I don't need to go through all of that, do I? I'm sorry I've been a while since I've made a video, but I've had a horrible cold sore, so it's just not fit for viewing really. So, plus it's been really painful. So we are talking about 3 days, Neville Goddard's 3 days to manifest anything. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I've had 2 emails about it saying that people have seen it online. I don't know if it's got particularly popular maybe at the moment talking about this online, and they can't make it work. So why is that? If Neville can do it, Neville's saying anybody can do it, why can't you do it? Right, okay, so I hadn't heard of this thing that Neville said, and I know a lot about Neville, but I hadn't, so I looked at it and I thought, okay, yeah. It just depends on your state, it depends on your internal state, it really does, and it's nothing more than that. So yes, it's completely possible. If you say to yourself, now, first of all, let's say this. If you were to say to yourself, because he will say anything is possible, and I've heard people say you can manifest £1 million in 3 days as easy as you can manifest a cup of coffee. And yes, you know, really that is true. But the thing is, we're dealing with a rational mind here, aren't we, that gets in the way, and we're dealing with resistance that gets in the way. So if I said to myself, okay, I'm going to manifest £1 million in 3 days, as soon as I say it, I can feel some resistance there. So it's probably not going to happen, not in 3 days for me anyway. So, you know, so be realistic. If it's contact that you're trying to manifest in 3 days, what is underlying there? So this is what I would do. If I was looking at this, 3 days to manifest, I don't like giving myself time, to be honest, to do things because I kind of feel a pressure then, so I don't really like to do that. But if I was doing it, and I do this in general, what is going on there? Let's say okay, I want to manifest contact from somebody within 3 days, because that's probably why a lot of you are here. How can I do that? Because you can feel resistance. So as soon as you say it, so as soon as you set your intention, be mindful of what resistance is there. Can you feel any resistance? So as soon as you can feel a resistance, and that is any kind of weird feeling or any kind of like, anything. I can't really explain it because resistance to you might feel different than it does to me. But if you can feel something there, then that's your block, okay? So that's going to stop you from doing that in 3 days, because it's something, it could be a feeling like, I can't do this, but everybody else can do this, but I can't do this. And it's the feeling of that, or it's the feeling of a circumstance that is making you feel like you can't do it. So look at that first, and that's what you need to get rid of. And you can get rid of that. Do you know what I have, since I've been doing lovely Marion, one of my clients, taught me the healing technique, or told me about the healing technique. It's just a way of connecting with your subconscious. So I heal any fear I feel over whatever it is. And then I kind of switched it up to, I intend, because I like the word intend, to dissolve any feeling of fear I have around this topic, or whatever the feeling is that you know that's the resistance. Deal with that first. So if you deal with that first, then have a go at this 3 days. Now, this is what you've got to do with it. If you're really, really looking at it as an intentional manifesting exercise, because as soon as we do that, an element of resistance generally puts in there for most of us. And let's face it, if everybody watching Neville videos was manifesting everything they wanted in 3 days, they wouldn't be watching Neville videos. They wouldn't be watching any videos. So if we're all able to do that with absolutely everything, why would I bother making videos? Why would anybody bother watching them? So let's be realistic here, but let's look at how it works for people. So if your internal state then comes in line with what it is that you want, so you are purely focusing on the desire and you are pushing anything else to the side, and I can do this with some things, I can't do this with everything, but if I really, really want something, I will not. I'm doing this with anxiety at the moment. I mean, I don't really suffer much with anxiety these days, and I generally talk about acceptance. And again, acceptance works, absolutely, but I have decided with me, and I don't want any anxiety at all in my life now. I just don't want it. So I am going with I'm not having it, and that's that. And I'm pushing myself. I'm not pushing myself. I don't often think about it, but if it even starts to creep up on me, I'm like, no, I'm not having it, and I just push it away. It is not going to be in my reality. So I can do this with certain things, and I hadn't been able to do that with anxiety in the past, but I can now. And I really feel like it's an amazing coping mechanism. So you can do this. we can all do this really. It just depends what level of resistance we have around the subject. So better to clear up that resistance first as best as you can. You don't have to risk assess over every single situation. Let's say that part of you thinks, I really want to see this particular person, but I don't know how I'm going to feel, and what if I feel this, and what if I feel that, what if I've still got this fear? Don't worry about that. And it, you know, really, you don't have to worry about every single little bit. You can say to yourself, because that is a fear in itself, and that is a resistance. Okay, I might feel the way that I don't want to feel when I meet this person or speak to this person, but if I do, I'll deal with it at the time. And if I can't cope with it at the moment, I'll pull away from it. There's always a safety net. The choices are yours. You don't, like I said, you don't have to troubleshoot and risk assess every single situation, because you'll really hold yourself back from doing all kinds of things in life. And I'm a very impulsive person, as you probably know, and I've spoken about. So I don't really risk assess like that, but I will deal with any resistance. And often you don't know it's there until you decide that you want to manifest something, and then you can feel it. You guys know that I pretty much don't manifest anything in my life. I just decide I want something, I kind of feel it, and then that's it. And I don't want to do any more than that generally. But if there's something I really, really, really want, and I want to give it a rocket up its ass, the manifestation, then I will. So, and I'm much better at that now than I used to be. I still love acceptance. I think acceptance is perfect. And if you are one for acceptance, then that's as good as anything to help with releasing resistance. But I have found that just naturally over the last 6 months probably, I've been more able to focus on what it is that I want and push anything else to the side. But I think it's a time thing. I think it's as you evolve with this, and I couldn't have done that a year ago. I just had to go with acceptance because that was all that worked for me. So what you're doing is you are bringing your focus to what you want, and you are not letting anything else in. That's how you do this. The Neville way, but it's not going to work for everybody, because not everybody is able to do that. And like I said, I couldn't do it a year ago, but I can do it now. And maybe I should just do loads of experimenting with this. I'm going to put out another video as well, probably in a couple of days' time, about how you can bring things into your life really quickly, especially if you're in business. It's an awesome thing to do, and I did experiment with this, and I'll tell you about my results in a bit. So you bring your focus in. So let's say you want to have an opportunity to get a certain job or something like that. Maybe you've seen a job going in a certain company that you want to work for, you've applied for it, you want to make sure that you get an interview, and it's on a deadline. So you focus on getting an interview. So you feel it. I am going to get an interview. I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. You feel the energy, even the energy of the desire for it is enough. So you just focus on that. Any little niggles and doubts that are coming in, you have to push aside. If you're going to do this the Neville way, you have to push it aside, and you have to keep bringing yourself back to it. Then what starts to happen is you just start to really feel the possibility of it, and almost the probability of it, if you can do this. But don't stress out if you can't do it, and don't feel like, oh, I'm rubbish at this. You're not, you're just not at that place yet. And not everybody can do it, and it depends what kind of person you are. Do you suffer with anxiety? Do you suffer with overthinking? Those things. Those are the things you need to look at in order to be able to make this kind of thing work for you. But at the same time, don't feel pressure, because I know there's stuff online saying, oh, you can do this. All of this resistance stuff is a load of nonsense. But it isn't, is it? It isn't a load of nonsense, because we are human beings, and we each have different levels of resistance and different things going on there, which are there, regardless of whether it matters or not, regardless of whether you can just manifest in 3 days. If you have those things going on, they're going to hold you back, because they're strong feelings. So they are getting in the way of your focus, of your pure focus on this thing that you want. This is my take on it, and I totally believe what I'm saying. I totally think it's true, because like I said, a year ago, there was no way that I could just go, I'm going to manifest this within 3 days, and it happened. I would never put that timescale pressure on myself, and I won't. I don't like I said, I don't like to do it now, but I certainly would do it as an experiment, and yeah, I might do that this week actually, but not an ongoing thing, unless I just get amazingly good at it and I can do it. Then maybe I will. Can never say never with any of this. Sorry, I keep going like this, but it's so hot and I feel so fidgety, and you guys know that I'm a bit of a fidget anyway. I can never stand or sit still when I'm videoing, when I'm filming. That's why I look all over the place, because my focus is not great. But that is the Neville way of doing it. So if you can do that, that's how you make it work. If I was to say, let's say you have a ton of resistance around a certain subject, and I say to you, right, you can manifest that within 3 days. You're going to think, okay, I can manifest that within 3 days. Cool, that's what Neville says. Okay, but then if you don't pay attention to that level of resistance, but you're trying to focus and that resistance keeps pummeling you, then you are not going to manifest it within 3 days, because the resistance is strong and the resistance is holding you back. Deal with that first, then have a go at it. But like I said, don't put that pressure on yourself. No one wants that time pressure, you know, but if you can do it for fun, then brilliant. I mean, I can do these things for fun now. I don't feel that pressure, so I can, but it took me a long time to get to that point. So that's my take on it, and that's because I know there seems to be a lot about it online at the moment, so I want to just come and give you my opinion. Yes, I do completely believe it's possible. I believe anything is possible. But again, it all depends how your inner state is regarding that thing that you want. Can you purely focus on the desire for it? Can you purely focus on the feeling of having it now? Can you do that? How does that feel? Can you push away any resistance? Can you ignore resistance? If you can do that, yeah. And I do know people that have done it. I know, absolutely know that you can do it. And I have manifested super quick when I've had I'm not putting a time pressure on myself, and I'm not trying to manifest, I'm just bringing something to mind. And I'll tell you about that in the next video actually. But I've done that on numerous occasions. But sometimes when we kick in, right, I'm going to manifest, you just get that resistance come in there before you even start. So, but that is certainly not to say it's not possible. Of course it is. Like I said, anything, I really truly believe that anything is possible. I'm writing another book at the moment, and it's all based around this being a quantum computer, this being a simulation. I don't know whether I believe this is a simulated reality or not. Depends what you think a simulated reality is, I guess, but it's all based around that. I don't know whether it'll be published under my actual name or whether it will be published under Evie Sparks, because it might be a little bit off of what I talk about here. Maybe I might talk about it more. I mean, it's so fascinating, and it's going to be a big book. It's not a pamphlet-y style thing that I do a lot of. It's going to be it's a real project, and I'm really enjoying it, but it's thrown up the fact to me that if this is really the case, then we can absolutely do anything, because we are controlling it. We are absolutely in control of the algorithm. Is just responding to us all of the time. But I'm not going to go off on a tangent down that path. So I do absolutely believe that it's possible. Again, it's all to do with your inner state. If you can push everything else aside, purely focus on the thing that you want, then you can manifest it. Yes, you can bring it into your life really, really quickly. But if you want to have a go at this, look at that resistance level first, see what you can do with that, and then have a go. But do it in have a go and see. But just because you haven't manifested it in 3 days, it doesn't mean it won't come in 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. I wouldn't then go on and on doing the feeling thing. I would just do it for 3 days and then drop it, because it's the going on that causes the obsession. So I just say this is a 3-day exercise. So either I will manifest in 3 days, or I would have built up so much momentum that at some point that's going to show up, and do it that way. Okay, I hope this was useful. I hope the lighting wasn't too bad. I know I was a bit better in the bit of artificial light and the really bright light out in the conservatory. There's nothing I could do about that. Thank you so much for your support so far. Thank you so much for buying my books. There's coaching available on my website. Not a lot, I do admit that. I haven't really cut back on it, but there is some availability. I think I'm going into September now. I think everything else is booked before September. But email coaching is available. I am going to be away from the 28th of August until the 4th of September, pretty much be the 5th before I get back to work. But if you do book email coaching, so a 4-week block of email coaching, I will add it onto the end, so you won't lose a week. I can just I can just take you on now, and then there'll be a week blocked out where you won't hear from me. But after that, I will make sure that nobody would ever miss out on any time. I would never let that happen, so don't worry about that. And that's that. Thank you so much for watching.